Good morning, students. Welcome to our tax classes. So we are starting new concept, that is income from salaries, chapter number 6. So this chapter is very much important, okay, and it's easy also. It's all included general things in this. So we'll start this chapter. So we have 5 heads of income, we know, okay. So first is income from salary. House property we have done, capital gains we have done, business and profession we have done. So house property, capital gains, profession, profit and gains of business or profession we have done. Now we are left with income from salary and income from other sources. So we'll focus on income from other sources. Income from salary, sorry. So income from salary section we are having 15 to 17. So this is the first head of income. So the first head of income is income from salaries, okay. So it's the first head of income. So sections we are having 15, 16, 17. So we are having section 15, 16 and 70 of Income Tax Act deal with the computation of income under the head salaries. Okay. So first we'll understand what are the sections that are included. So in these sections are included 15, 16 and 17. Okay. So the first head of income is income from salaries, we know, and there are sections 15, 16 and 17 that are dealing with income tax, and we have to compute the income and the head salaries. Okay, so what we are saying, the word salary is defined differently. So we have a salary word here, it is a differently, we have a defined. Any remuneration received by an employee from his employer is a salary. So what we are saying, there must be two persons, one is employer and the person is employee, that is called salary. Okay, so what we are saying, there should be two persons, one person should be employer and other person should be employee. So it's called salary. In simple words, salary means the income of a person. So any person who is working under the employer as an employee and he is receiving the income of a person which he receives from his employer for rendering services to him. So what the employee will do, he'll go to the employer's place and he'll give his services. What he's doing, he's giving his services. Okay, but every remuneration received for rendering services cannot be treated as salary. So we are saying every remuneration, the remuneration which employer is receiving, what we are saying, there should be a relationship between employer and employee. Okay, so the employer and employee, what they should do, employer has to take services of employee, and for that purpose the employer has to pay him salary, some income. Okay, but what we are saying, every remuneration for rendering services cannot be treated as salary. So many people will give service, but that service will not be come under the head income from salary. Okay, we are saying there should be a relationship between the employer and employee, then only we call this as a remuneration, this is called as salary. Okay, for instance, remuneration received by a lawyer or medical practitioner will be professional income. So we are going to a lawyer for taking legal advice, or we are going to a medical practitioner to get our get for our ill treatment for our not being well. Okay, so what we are saying, these people are also giving service, lawyer is also giving service, we are taking his legal services, and practitioner we are also going, he is giving his expertise advice and he is giving some prescription. Okay, so he is also giving services, lawyer and medical practitioner also giving services. So the services which are being given by these people will be called as professional income, because when a person is going to the lawyer, there is no relationship between the lawyer and his client, employer and employee relationship. He is just going and taking his advice. Okay, and again with a medical practitioner and a patient, doctor and patient, there is no relationship between doctor and patient as employer and employee. So whenever the professional, whenever he is receiving some money by giving his service, that is called as professional income. Okay, so it please be noted that income belonging to a specific head must be taxed under the head only. So where we are earning income, that income will go to that head. So suppose there is a relationship between employer and employee, that will go under salary. There is a relationship between doctor, the professional income, so it will go to that particular head. According to the provision specific head, any expenditure incurred to earn any income should be deducted from the gross income of such head. Obviously it's easy. So income, which head income we are earning, and to that also we have to incur some expenditure. So from that particular income we have to deduct expenditure. Okay, check. So this is what about salary. So what we have learned from this paragraph, we are saying any remuneration received by an employer from his employee is a salary. Why employer is paying to the employee? Because he is giving services. For his services he is paying, but all the services cannot be charged under salary. Okay, we have seen the example also, lawyer and medical practitioner. Now we'll see some features of salary. First is important, what? Employer-employee relationship. There should be a relation between employer and employee. The most important characteristics of salary is the existence of employee-employer relationship. The first most is important, there should be a relationship between employer and employee. To be more specific, this relation should be that of master and servant. So who is a master here? Employer is a master. Who is a servant? Employee is a servant. Okay, therefore any fee is received by a consultant. So we are going here, there is any fee is received by consultant, director not being the whole time director. So these people are giving and they are giving the services, but they are not whole time, they are not giving full time to the company or the employer, cannot be treated as salary. Okay, employer may include, so who will be the employers? Now your question is employer. So who is the employer? Employer include local government, local authority, public body or association, foreign government or others. So the person who is giving the service, giving the job to the person who is working, so we are talking about employer now. So who are employers? Employers means it include government also, local authority, GHMC and all, public body or body of association, or what we are having, foreign government or others. Payment received from any person other than employer are not taxed under this head. So you are receiving payment from we are talking about the employee now. The employee is receiving money from apart from employer, other than employer, that is not taxed under the head income from salary. If an employee does any work for his employer which is not connected with his service, so employee is working under, he is giving service for employer, but it is not connected to his service, then remuneration for such will not be treated as salary. Okay, so employer, take example, the employee is working under the employer's wait, I'll give examples, it will be easy. Okay, so first what we are saying, there should be two persons. Okay, two persons should be there. Okay, take these two persons we are having. Okay, and here is a company, so he is working for some company. Take example, company or in a partnership firm or in any sole proprietor. Okay, so this all, who are this all, these are, or any government. Okay, or this all are what? Employer. What the employee will do, he is an employee, right? So the employee, what the employee will do, the employee will go under the employer and he'll give his what? Services. So who is giving services? Employer is giving service to employee. Okay, the employer is giving services, to employee, obviously. Okay, so in return the employer will pay him some salary. So he is giving services. Who is giving services? Employee is giving services to the company, and the company will pay him what? Some money will be paid. That money will be called as salary. Okay, now take example, the sole proprietor. One person is a sole proprietor. What he is doing, Sunday is a holiday. So what the employer has done, this employer, he called the employee to his house. Okay, the employee went to the employer's house. This is the house of employer. So he went and he did some cleaning to the house. Okay, some cleaning work, and the employer gave him some 500 rupees. Take example. So employee went to his house. Where he is working? He is working in the shop. Sole proprietor, some kirana shop he is running. Take example, kirana shop. So he is working in kirana shop. If he gives any service in kirana shop, then it will called as income from salary. But what he has done, he has gone to the employer's house and he has done some cleaning work, and the employer has paid some 500 rupees to employee. So this is not salary. Okay, so that point we are talking about. So here he is saying, right, see what point is we are talking about. If an employee does any work for his employer which is not connected with his service, then the remuneration for such work will not be treated as salary. Okay, example he has given. Examiner's remuneration received by a teacher from his university shall be treated as income from salary. Okay, so what is happening, the examiner means the person who is doing what? Corrections. He went to the teacher, went to university to correct papers. Okay, and that will be treated as income from other sources. Okay, that is not income from salary. The teacher job is to teach in college and get money from college, but what he did, he has gone to university to correct papers. Okay, and the money is receiving from the university as income from other sources. Okay, so what we are saying, this is a part. Then salary may be paid in cash or kind. Salary may be paid in cash or kind. Okay, it will be paid in the form of money or in the form of apart from money also. Salary of a member of parliament. So what he is saying, this is important. The salary of member of parliament is governed by the salaries and allowances of members of parliament act 1954. So we are having a separate act for the salary of member of parliament, MP we call it as, right? Hence it is not chargeable to tax under the head salaries. A member of parliament is not a government employee. Though member of parliaments, MLAs are not government employees, they work for only for 5 years tenure. They are public servants. Okay, so they are not government employee. The money which they are receiving from the government, okay, that is not income from salaries, that is income from other sources, because there is no relationship between government and the MP, member of parliament. Both are different. There is no relation. The employer employee relationship is not there. Okay, that's why the any money which is received by MP or MLA, that is not chargeable under tax salaries, that will be charged under the other head, income from other sources. Okay, next, employment and profession. There is a difference between employment and profession. Okay, employment and profession, I'll tell you. Okay, take example. There is one institute, coaching institute. Here is a coaching institute. Okay, let us take one person. He is a teacher. Now concentrate. The teacher is working in a school. Where the teacher is working? The teacher is working in a school. So here the school and the employee has relationship. Which relationship? Master and servant relationship. Master and servant relationship between employer and employee. He is an employee, double E I am writing, and OR I am writing employer. Okay, so what teacher is doing? Teacher is going to the school and the teacher is giving services. Okay, so in return the school is paying to the teacher some salary. So the money whichever is receiving by the teacher from school called as income from salary. Income from salary. But the same teacher, what he is doing, the teacher is teaching in coaching institute. Okay, somewhere in coaching the teacher is teaching in coaching. So this is professional. This is profession of teacher. There is no relationship between here. The teacher is taking classes after the school. The teacher is taking tuitions. The tuition money is not called income from salary. That is called income from other sources. IFOS is called as income from other sources, because the teacher and the coaching institute, there is no relationship, employer-employee relationship, master and servant relationship is not there. That's why we call this as what? Income from other sources. Okay. Let's move further. That is the same thing is saying. Employment must be distinguished from profession. If employment is merely the excess of a profession, the gains from such employment are not taxed under the head income from salary. Example is saying, any chartered accountant is engaged by a company. The chartered accountant, the company is giving chartered accountant to audit the books of the accounts. Okay, means the company is asking chartered accountant to check the books of accounts of the company. So that is professional income. Okay, but if the same chartered accountant is employed with the company, so what the company is doing, the company is giving the employment, means they are giving him job. The same chartered accountant is working the company as an internal auditor. In that case, that will be charged under head salaries. So it's so simple what we are saying. If any employment is different, profession is different. I gave example of employment, school and teacher, and profession is institute. Next, remuneration received by a partner of a firm. So any partner is receiving money from a firm, that is business income. PGBP, there is a partner. What is the partner is doing? Is working in the organization as an owner. So if any owner is receiving money from his own business, it is taxed under the head PGBP, profit and gains of business and profession. Our last chapter. We have seen in the last chapter, right? Next, payment received after the discontinuation of service from his former employee is also taxed under the head income from salary. So what we are saying, the person, see what the tax will be charged per year. Every year the tax will be charged. Take example. Here is a one person. He worked in a company for 6 months. How many months? 6 months. Okay. Again he quit his job and he went to company B. Okay, and he received 6 months and he worked here 6 months. So what happened? He worked in this A for 6 months and B also 6 months. His name is X. So what he did, throughout the last year he received 6 months from A and 6 months from B. 6 months from B. Both the employer's money will be called as 12 months salary. 12 months salary. Okay, and the 12 months salary will be charged to tax. Okay, we should not say he is not working with A now, he is working with B. Only this part, the money which he is receiving from B will be called as income from salary. No, the previous owner also is receiving any money, that will be called as income from salary. Same he is saying here. Okay, next, salary from more than one employer. Okay, if he is receiving more salary from more than one employer, it's obvious he can receive. It makes no difference whether the employee has received salary from one employer or more than one employer during a financial year due to change of employment. Yes, he had changed the employment. The aggregate amount of salary received during a particular financial year shall be put to tax under the heading salaries. Okay, but if a remuneration is received from two different sources, how like different sources receiving, the remuneration from the employer shall be taxed under the head salaries. Other remuneration shall be taxed under the head income from other sources. If he is receiving from employment, that is income from salary. Apart from employment, if he is receiving, that is what, income from other sources. Example is giving here. Lecture fees received by a government doctor working in a government hospital. So what, the doctor is working some other hospital, but here in the government hospital is coming and he giving lectures. That is income from other sources. Okay, next, salary is taxable either on due basis or receipt basis, whichever is earlier. The salary should be due. Due means services he has given and he has not received salary. Receipt means he is receiving, whichever is earlier. Okay, so that we'll see in the questions. Tax free salary, when an employee received tax free salary, that is, tax is paid by the employer. So tax is paid by the employer. Who has to pay tax? Employee has to pay tax. But who paid the tax? Employer has paid and he has received the salary tax free, means tax is paid by the employer. Then the employee has to include the amount of tax paid by his employer on his behalf to net salary received, as to ascertain the actual salary for tax purpose. So the assessee, the employee wants to know how much he has to receive money before tax, that he'll add back. Okay, that all we'll see when we do problems. Okay, next is what, voluntarily foregoing. Okay, the voluntary foregoing of the salary due to him by any employee shall be treated as application of income, and same is fully taxable. So any employee, what he is doing is voluntarily giving his salary away. That will be called again taxed under head income from salary. Next, surrender of salary. Any agreement between employer and employee that employer need not to pay any salary would not attract any tax liability. So there is a problem. Problem is going on between employer and employee. The employer is saying will not pay tax, will not pay salary, no need of paying tax. Okay, when there is a salary, then only we have to pay tax. Pension. So what is the meaning of pension? Pension received by an employee after his retirement is treated as all practical purpose as salary. So whenever the employee is retiring from his services, what he will do, he'll receive some pension from the employer. Okay, that will be called as practically salary. Regarding commuted pension, so pension is different types we are having. Commuted means every month he will receive. Exemption rules are applicable on the basis of nature of employment. So government employees pension is not taxable, like that we are having nature, that we'll see later, which are explained in the later part of the present lesson. Foreign pension is taxable on the basis of residential status. Okay, we have to see the residential status. Residential status means he's a resident of India or non-resident of India, that we'll see later part. So pension, in all the purpose, it is taxes as called as salary, but again we have to see exemptions are given based on employment. Okay, that we'll see in the next part. Deduction by the employer. So the employer, what he will do, he will do some deductions, just as tax deducted, he will deduct tax, contribution to provident fund, medical and staff welfare scheme. All the schemes will be given by the employer. By the employer are made application of income. So this is called application of income. And so all these are added back to his net salary received to find out the odd salary. So what he will do, he'll add all these incomes which are deducted, and that will be, they'll find out income from salary. We'll find out when we do the chapter in detail, we'll understand all these points clearly. Provident fund, TDS, this is called TDS, tax deducted at source. This we'll see when we do the problems. Family pension, any pension paid to widow or legal heir of the deceased employee. So employee is dying and the company is paying to his widow or his wife or his legal heir, that shall not be treated as salary. That will be taxed under the head income from other sources, because the employee has died and the money who is receiving, the widow, his wife or his children, there is no relationship between the company and his children and legal heir. They are not employee of the company. That's the purpose, that's the reason that is called income from other sources, because employee has died. Okay, so this we are having as all types of salaries, relationships and all we have seen salary. So where is in all the cases we have seen where it is called as salary and where it is not called as salary. Okay. So we'll see the format. So in format, first we have tried first salary. Many things will come in salary. We'll see one after the other. Then we'll see allowances that we have to add to the salary. Again, allowances are, we are having three types of allowances. First is fully taxable. Okay. Then we have partly taxable allowance. Then we are having deduction or exemption allowances. You can call it as exempted allowances. Exempted. So one is fully taxed, other is partly, means some portion will be taxed, some portion will not be taxed, and all rest is what? Fully exempted. There will be no tax on that. Next we are having perquisites. We'll all see what is allowance and all. Perquisites. Okay. So next we are seeing perquisites. So perquisites also we are having that is taxable in all cases of employees. Taxable in all cases of employees. Either the employee is a government employee, non-government employee, private employee, or foreign government employee, foreign employee, or for them all it is taxable. And taxable in only in some cases of, taxable in specified cases of employees, specified cases of employees, specified cases of employees. Okay. Next we get gross salary. What we are doing to the salary, we have a list for salary, then we are adding all allowances, fully taxable, partly taxable, deduction, exempted or exempted allowance we have to do. Then we have to add perquisites. We'll see what is the meaning of allowance perquisites when we do this particular head. Perquisites, and for some employees it is taxes for all cases of employees, government, non-government, all, and there are some exemption exception perquisites which are taxable only to specified cases. That we'll see specified cases. When we add salary, allowance and perquisite, we get gross salary. What we have to do to add salary, allowance and perquisites, we get gross salary. Next we have to deduct. Last one is what? Sorry, deduction under section 16 we are having deductions. We are having now under section 16. So first we are having two types of deductions. First is entertainment allowance is exemption. Then we are having employment of professional tax. So we get last it what? Income from salary. Income from salary. Okay. So what we have to do? We have to first write salaries, then add allowances, then write perquisites. Then we get gross salary. Then we do deduction under section 16. Entertainment allowance we are having. Professional tax we are having. Then we get income from salary. This is the format. Okay, slowly we'll see one after the other.